Welcome back to Overhead Athletics. I'm joined by Austin today, one of our college throwers. Sophomore in college, freshman eligibility, correct? And what we're going to kind of look at today is shoulder function a little bit, shoulder mobility. He's getting a little bit of shoulder discomfort. He's had an AC joint injury in the past, so we're just going to kind of talk and kind of look at what's going on. And we've talked a little bit about this, and I obviously have seen him before, so we have kind of an idea of what's going on, but we want to do a reassess today.
All right, so I've had some pain in the AC joint, obviously, and I feel like when I'm throwing, like when I get to that finish, or I would say it's more when I get right here, when I let go of the ball, almost when that weight is inflicted, like with the ball.
When it's back this way?
Yeah. I feel like either this isn't like fully where it needs to be, and it's causing me to hurt in other areas because this isn't in the right spot, or it's because this is weak and it's making this more discomfortable.
But where are you getting pain? Point to it.
I'd say it's in two spots. It's not necessarily right here. It's just this spot like kind of pops if I do this. Like you hear that kind of like, but it's mostly like it's kind of like a deep pain in that scapula area.
Like back in here?
Yeah. I would say it's more like right here.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and sit that way for me.
Sometimes it does feel like it could be rotator cuff, and like sometimes I can't really tell, but I just feel like it's more deep, so I can't really pinpoint it, but I know that it's weak and it's there, you know what I mean?
Sit that way for me. Yeah. So let's just have you go up in front with the arms. Let's go up high. Okay, come back. Go again. It's actually not too bad. It looks pretty symmetrical. Okay, go outside of my arms. Go again. Do you ever get any clicking, popping in here?
In here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Okay, go again. What gives you clicking and popping most?
Honestly, like when I feel discomfort and I just try to get it loose sometimes, like
shrugging.
sometimes
down.
I do it on purpose because it feels good, like for that split second, just that little pop. It was like, oh, like it relieves a lot of like tension, but like obviously you don't want to hear that because like I feel like it's
moving too much.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so
what do you do to make it pop?
Sometimes if I just like hold down on that AC joint, I can do that, and you can hear that kind of like it's like kind of a deep crunch, you know what I mean? There's days where it won't bother me, but there's other days where it's really there, and like I got to make sure I stretch really good before I throw.
You can see this too.
Every day.
Look at the difference side to side here, just in the way he sits.
Yeah, this is my normal posture for sure.
So a lot of this, I think, is going to be some scapular training, shoulder training. I mean, we're going to see some depression a lot of times, like where this shoulder's lower than this one in throwers, but this is definitely more than what we like. And there's a very mild step deformity here.
Yeah. Yep. I did.
But it's not huge, It's
right.
I don't know if the video can see that, but there's a little bit of a step deformity, which basically means that the acromion sits a little bit low than the lateral edge of the clavicle there. And it's not, comparing side to side, it's not that bad. The whole shoulder itself is a little bit depressed, and I'd like to see it sit more like that. Yeah, and even that's a little depressed. But
even when you just did that, like it kind of took like
some stress off.
Yeah, kind of some stress off that spot, you know what I mean? And that just feels way more normal.
So we got to get some upper trapezius strengthening, maybe even a little bit of lower trapezius strengthening to kind of upwardly rotate it a little bit. I'm talking to the video now. And then serratus, so under here. So Rhomboids as well are important. Just try to get them sit a little higher naturally without having to think about it. Let's go on your back and let's look at some motion. Because he was one that had a lot of internal rotation deficit previously. So let's just look at it here. Always going loose and floppy. What do you feel? Nothing in the front? And he's definitely a little tight in the back. We're going to look at his rotator cuff strength here in a second. And that's obviously a lot better.
Yeah.
It feels free. And I was just telling these guys here, but you guys at home.
Can you do this side one more time?
Yeah, we're going to do both a few times. But you guys at home, 10 to 15 degrees, 15 tops is what we expect to see from actual retroversion or external torsion of the humerus bone. And that's just as a result of throwing. As the bone develops, it gets a little torsion to it, twists a little bit. 10 to 15 degrees. We're not expecting to see 20, 25, 30 degree variance. Now, his brother had a little bit more variance side to side than him, and we actually stretched it with a contract relax. We're going to try that on you a little bit. Scoot over towards me, and we'll see what we can get. So I always go in a position where I can provide a mobilization if I need to, but really here I'm just centering the ball in the socket to do this, pushing to my chest, and I'm trying to fatigue him out. Relax. Good, he's already moving better. Pushing to my chest, relax. Pushing my chest, relax. This is like a grade 1 to 2 mobilization of my left hand here on his actual humeral head. Pushing to my chest, relax. I want you to reach towards the floor with your palm. Now he's actively internally rotating, relax. Push your elbow and like you're pushing your shoulder out of the socket. Go. Relax. Relax. And already
It just feels way looser.
way looser, he says. So that's one stretch. He's going to have stretching that he's going to do in his home program. And I think it is a lot of muscle based for him. So contract relax works well. He still has a bit of a deficit. And I think we're going to mob him just a little bit. And he's had this before, so he knows how it feels. I'll find where the direction I feel is tight. And I take up all through traction and all through internal rotation. And then I just apply a little bit of a down glide. 7 or 8 seconds. Let him move a little bit. It's not always comfortable. Maybe picked up a couple degrees there. It's definitely a little bit easier to move. So it's not always whether I get more degrees of motion. And certainly from there to there, we've improved 15, 16, maybe 18 degrees. But it's much easier to hit that end feel. Whereas before, we get here and it feels really stiff. And get there, it feels a little bit more bouncy, which is kind of the feel I want. A little bit softer. You don't want to stop immediately with no give at all. You want a little bit of a give, then it gets firm. Give and then firm. So that looks better already. And like we said, he's getting a little sore in there, in the back as well. So we want to assess his rotator cuff strength. This is an easy way to start. You can always do it in sport-specific hold here positions. But let's just take a look. Not too bad. Supraspinatus. There's your deceleration position. Position at the end of the throw. Okay, hold. That feels like it gives a little easy.
Yeah, that definitely, that was...
Scoot over
weird.
this way just a little bit. Right there, good. Hold right there. And that's definitely stronger. Do you feel the difference? One more time. So I like to give them at least 2 reps. Go. Remember, this is after a warm-up. I feel like I can push right through. One more time.
And I can feel it. That's kind of where I get sore at. Like
Back
where
there.
I'm feeling that burn.
Back in
When you
here.
do that? Yeah. It's almost like I don't even know. It's almost like I can't even really tell, but I just know it's there.
Okay, hold. Yeah, it feels like I can push right through them
Yeah, like I can feel it a little bit where I said, and a little bit like
towards
in
the.
here, like at the very
So
end.
he's talking about where the kind of tendon ends up inserting into the humerus, maybe
Yeah,
more
that's,
out there.
that's exactly where I was talking, where
Yep.
I felt it.
Okay, hold. And this one I can actually put some weight behind and he can resist me. And I'm always pre-positioning his shoulder before I do it in a position that's going to bias rotator cuff activity. So I pull down, so I give him a down glide. I pull inferior, which will do a little bit, and I position him this way, which will do a little bit to turn off deltoid. So I can look at more of the rotator cuff strength. Because if I test him here, shrugged shoulder there, he's going to be strong. Try it. And that's really strong. You feel the difference.
Yeah.
Because he's able to use his deltoid as opposed to just his rotator cuff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to give him some exercises to get his shoulder to sit in a better position, get his entire shoulder complex to sit better, get his rotator cuff moving a little better, and then he's going to have a home exercise stretch. Most important thing with a lot of these guys is that we're not overloading them with their home exercise program, especially as he gets into a college season here. He's got time for some things, but he's got to balance school, life, and baseball. So the more that we can do at one time, the more compact things are, and overall, the more things he can hit at once in a short period of time, the better for him. So what we're going to actually do with him is reinforce with a variation of the sleeper stretch for some internal rotation stretching. We're going to give him some upper trapezius strengthening, so a little different than the traditional Y, and then we're going to send him home with a little bit of serratus activation and then varying degrees of external rotation exercises, which you've seen on our channel before. If you guys like this evaluation video, make sure to hit the thumbs up. Come back. We're going to do some more videos in the future on different applications of exercise for this sort of thing if you like this video. So give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you guys in the next one.